Welcome back. And this is the evolution of underwear from function to fashion. I am Oluwagbemisola Akinlade-Ogaji, your host for today, and as always, your advocate for wellness from the inside out. You know that there was a time when underwear was a silent servant. It was eating, it was functional. It was not meant to be seen or to be discussed, even though it was discussed, but it was by few people. But by the mid 20th century, something radical happened. Women started saying, we are not just wearing this, we are choosing this. And that shift changed everything. In 1914, Mary Phelps Jacob said it's enough. She couldn't take it anymore. She's done with the bruises, with the breathlessness. And so she just took two handkerchiefs and some ribbon, a bit of lace, and created history. Do you know the history that was created? The modern bra. The modern bra was born not out of vanity, but out of rebellion. From that moment, bras began to carry more than just weight. They also held the societal expectations. It was ideal and even rebellion. By the 1940s, 1950s, the bullet bras took over. They shipped they were shaped by fashion and war because there was war around that time, World War One. And then came the underwires that we have now, the padding, and the pressure to lift not just your chest, but your image. But then lingerie found its voice along this way. Somewhere in between the girders and the girders, women started asking questions. Questions like what? Can I be soft and strong? Can I be feminine and still free? And that was when lingerie stopped being just modesty. It became self expression. The satin, the silk, the lace, they were no more about seduction. They were about intention. And they whispered what the world has often silenced. Do you know that statement that the world silenced back in those ancient history that we have seen in episode 1 and 2? You deserve to feel beautiful. That was the silence, but it became obvious that you deserve to feel beautiful for you yourself, not for validation, not for performance, just for you, because you're worthy. Now, let's rewind a bit. The industrial era, we talked about it in episode 2. It brought about the machines that was used and how the underwear became accessible, but though it was not comfortable. And then the war, and then women. But we didn't just stay behind. We also moved. We women, we led, we walked. And suddenly, you remember that in those era, they were having layers upon layers upon layers of lace and whalebone. It was impractical. They were not surviving it. You remember all the things we said in the description box? If you've not seen episode 2, go and catch the info there. So underwear had to evolve and corsets softened into girdles. Drawers became briefs. And comfort was no longer a luxury, it was a right. This era, it actually reminds me why I do what I do on this channel, because public health is not just medicine, it's dignity. And our underwear, it sits right at the intersection of wellness and womanhood. So you see why I love what I do. Now let's fast forward to the 60s and the 70s when feminism was rising. At this point, underwear was also rising. It was no longer neutral. At the Miss America protest in 1968, there was a freedom trash can where women tossed bras and girdles into that can. It was very symbolic and very powerful. It was not as if they hated femininity, but it was about demanding choice. And then all the designers that were producing underwears, they started to listen. Women said they want wire rim softened, they want their fabric stretched, and that was it. The no bra movement was born. Not because it was trendy then, but it was very liberating for them. And by the 90s, the lingerie had moved from undergarment to outer statement. The Hello Boys by the Gozad, the Runway's Angels by Victoria's Secret, they brought lingerie to billboards. They brought lingerie on screens. They brought it on stages. But you know, the real shift actually happened in 2010. Women were no longer buying to please anybody else. They were buying to please themselves for comfort, for freedom. And all the push ups that they used during the war, the persona, all of them, they started to fall, their sales. And that was when the bralettes, and the soft cups started coming up because the designers listened. Ita Gramston of Selfridges said something, and he said, the definition of sexy has evolved. Today, sexy is not how you look to someone else, it is how you feel in your own skin. And now, underwear is not just personal, it's powerful. Our shapewear, they are no longer shameful, they are now empowering women. And our maternity bras, they are functional, beautiful, and very kind to our body. And we have the period panties that talks about the sustainability, making the planet friendly. And that is how we finally have the underwear that is serving us. Beauty is not one size fits all. Your needs are not inconvenience. They are a design blueprint. My dear women, underwear has evolved from silence to strength, from hiding our bodies to honoring them. So, my dearest gender, whether you reach out for lace or for cutting, wireless, wired, padded, non padded, tongues, choose what speaks your truth. Remember, I said in episode 2 that this is our truth. The story of underwear is our ini, is a journey, and it's our truth as women. So choose what speaks your truth. Because your body, you see this body, it's not a battlefield, it's a temple. God created it and He said, don't you know that your body is the temple of the Lord? Our body is a temple, is a home where the Holy Spirit resides, is a story. And what we wear underneath it should hold it with every honor that you can access. Thank you for joining me today on today's episode. Have you found this very insightful? Please share to other women. Let's have it in the conversation. Subscribe, like, and comment. Do not forget today that comfort is a human right. Every time you choose your underwear, choose the one that celebrates you. Until I see you in the next episode, thank you very much.